gas station in a Vermont college town, to freezers and scoop shops around the world. And from Peace Pops to a piece of the action, the Ben & Jerry's story is as legendary as the ice cream is euphoric. But that's really just the tip of the cone. You probably know the tale that starts with the two upstarts who started it all. That mind and taste bud boggling odyssey that began when Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield first met in 1963 at the back of the pack in 7th grade gym class in Merritt, Long Island. After college, the lifelong friends split the cost to enroll in a $5 correspondence course on ice cream making from Penn State University. They passed with flying colors, due in part to Jerry's book smarts and Ben's work ethic, and the fact that all the exams were open book. Diplomas in hand, they combined their savings and renovated an old gas station in the heart of downtown Burlington, Vermont. They opened for business on May 5, 1978. Soon there were long lines stretching out the door as more and more people clamored for a taste of Ben & Jerry's homemade flavor creations. After surviving their first year in business, they celebrated with free cone day, scooping out free ice cream all day to everyone who stopped by. It was, and still is, Ben & Jerry's quintessential expression of customer appreciation, celebrated at hundreds of Ben & Jerry's scoop shops worldwide. In the early 80s, it became obvious that a bigger facility was needed, so they raised funds to build this very factory by selling shares of the company exclusively to Vermonters in the first ever in-state stock offering. With newly expanded production came plans to expand sales. So naturally, the guys converted an old motorhome into the Cowmobile, a cool and funky traveling scoop shop. In 1986, they loaded up with Vermont's finest and set out on a cross-country scoopathon, giving out free samples wherever they stopped. On the return trip to Vermont, the Cowmobile burned to the ground just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, in an unplanned PR inferno dubbed the world's largest baked Alaska. The story made headlines from coast to coast and put the company in the national spotlight for the first time. The Cowmobile had given America its first taste of Vermont's finest, and for many, their first taste of socially responsible business. To help folks understand what Ben & Jerry's Homemade was all about, they created a mission statement outlining the company's three-part commitment to product quality, economic reward for shareholders, and social responsibility. Our purchasing decisions help support family farms, suppliers of sustainably grown foods, and dairy producers who don't use artificial growth hormones. Ben & Jerry's has wholeheartedly supported the principles of the fair trade movement. We look for suppliers who pay a fair price to their farmers, and farmers who provide fair labor conditions for their workers, and practice environmentally sustainable farming. Ben & Jerry's is committed to transitioning its major commodities to fair trade goods where it can to make a difference, including coffee, bananas, vanilla, chocolate, and nuts. It's all part of our efforts to keep making the best ice cream in the nicest possible way. In 2000, Ben & Jerry's was acquired by Unilever. A unique arrangement gives Ben & Jerry's independent board of directors responsibility for the company's brand equity. So the company will always walk the Ben & Jerry's talk. And using Unilever's reach, it's possible to bring Ben & Jerry's to even more places around the world. But as much as we've grown, we're still doing good right here in the Green Mountains. Ben & Jerry's employee-led community action teams at both of our Vermont manufacturing facilities and our headquarters continue to reach out to local Vermont neighbors who can use a hand up. These CAT teams help out Vermont communities and nonprofits, helping paint, landscape, and refurbish dozens of local nonprofits throughout this state where Ben & Jerry's got its start.
Well, I'm coming to work every day. I know I'm not here just, to sell ice cream. There's a bigger cause behind the company.
We will literally shut the line down, the plant down, and stop producing ice cream to make these type of events happen.
Ben & Jerry's given me the opportunity to start doing volunteer stuff here, and now I go out on my own into the community and do a lot of stuff, and it's pretty rewarding.
The company continues to innovate the funkiest, chunkiest flavors with lots of big swirls. And we've managed to raise our profile a bit, too.
Ever thought of having other conservative flavors made? Like, what about a Ronald Reagan flavor? Because vanilla ice cream and some jelly beans and maybe bits of the Berlin Wall. You can have a Democratic flavor, cut and rum raisins.
And another late-night guy who supports purchasing fair trade goods.
Just by purchasing fair trade goods, you're helping out farmers around the world. And if you're thinking about buying ice cream, Here's some advice from Late Night with Jimmy Fallon.
What about Ben & Jerry? Well, the two guys continue to support company initiatives, programs, and especially mission statement efforts to address social inequities, like values-led sourcing and the effort to get the dough out of politics. And they're still best friends. And today, more folks are enjoying Ben & Jerry's in more ways and in way more faraway places than ever before. And even though that's the end of our historical movie thing, you can rest assured that Ben & Jerry's mind and taste bud boggling odyssey is just beginning. Next up, production stuff, including the real scoop on how flavors like Chunky Monkey and Chubby Hubby make the transition from cow to cone. And so, without further ado...
Have returned. How did everyone enjoy our